Hi friends, welcome to something called science.com. Today we'll talk about the fascinating topic of polyatomic ions. You can find the full transcript of this episode and a worksheet on our website. So our question in this video is, what are polyatomic ions? Simply said, polyatomic ions are ions that consist of two or more atoms bonded together, which collectively carry a charge. Unlike monatomic ions, which consist of just one ion, polyatomic ions are more complex and play a crucial role in various chemical reactions and compounds. A polyatomic ion is made up of a group of atoms that are covalently bonded. This means that the ions that the polyatomic ion consists of share electrons, and these ions can include different types of elements from the periodic table. Now, as I mentioned, polyatomic ions carry an electric charge, otherwise they wouldn't be ions. But how do we know the overall charge of a polyatomic ion? Well, the overall charge of a polyatomic ion comes from the difference between the total number of protons, which are positively charged, and the total number of electrons, which are negatively charged in the ion. If the total number of protons is greater than the total number of electrons, the polyatomic ion carries a positive charge. If, on the other hand, the total number of electrons is greater than the total number of protons, it carries a negative charge. There are many polyatomic ions, each with its own unique structure and charge. Let's have a look at some of the most common ones. First, sulfate is a widely encountered ion in various chemical reactions, particularly in the formation of salts. Nitrate is commonly found in fertilizers and explosives and essential for plant growth. Phosphate is vital for biological processes and is a key component of DNA. And finally, the only positively charged polyatomic ion in this list, ammonium, is often found in fertilizers. One thing that is important to know about polyatomic ions is that there are specific rules for how to name them. We have another video in which we provide a detailed explanation of these naming conventions. Here we'll just mention some key points so that you can get an idea. First, many polyatomic ions have suffixes that reflect the number of oxygen atoms that they have. For example, the suffix ate is often used for ions with a higher number of oxygen atoms, while ite is used for those with fewer oxygen atoms. For example, sulfate, SO4 2-, has more oxygen atoms than sulfite, SO3 2-. Some polyatomic ions use prefixes to indicate the number of oxygen atoms present. For example, the prefix per indicates one more oxygen atom than the ate ion. For example, perchlorate, ClO4-. On the other hand, the prefix hypo indicates one less oxygen than the ite ion. For example, hypochlorite, ClO-. Finally, the overall charge of the polyatomic ion is shown in its formula. For example, the ammonium ion is written as NH4+, where the plus sign shows that it has a positive charge. Phosphate, on the other hand, is written as PO4 3-, where the negative sign shows that it has a negative charge. Again, if you want a more detailed explanation of naming rules, please refer to our video that explains this. In summary, polyatomic ions are complex ions that are made up of multiple atoms that collectively carry a charge. They are important components in many chemical compounds and biological processes. And so understanding what they are, how they are formed, and how they are named is essential for anyone studying chemistry. You can find the full transcript of this episode and a worksheet on our website. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more science content. It really helps the channel out. Let us know in the comments if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover next. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.